Bienvenue, Ani, welcome. Because I decided during the story brainstorm that Moss was going to need a friend to round out the main group of characters, this character's design was based around that friendship and what the group dynamic as a whole needed. In other words, I wanted to balance out some numbers with this character. The group currently has 3 boys and 1 girl, so this character will be a girl. There are 3 younger kids and 1 older kid, so this character will be an older kid. There are 2 gnomes and 2 fairies, so that choice could have gone either way, and I chose gnome. Next, I thought specifically about Moss and who he would likely have as a friend, and what kind of friendship would be implied by certain details. For example, if they both have similar fashion aesthetics, it could be assumed that they became friends due to shared interests, attitudes, or being part of the same clique. Whereas if they have different aesthetics, it could be assumed that they have been friends since they were really young, when all it takes to be best friends is proximity and a shared passion for tag. I wasn't sure which direction to go, and because some of the character designs, like Moss's, were so heavily influenced by the original picture, I decided to take a look at what I was working with and see where that would take me. Unfortunately, this was the next picture in the folder. I did not get a good picture of this sprinkler head. The curled up leaf balanced on the side of the head looked like some kind of scope when the head was spinning around in real life, but not at all from this angle. But since this was the only picture I had, this was what I was stuck with. So let's get into it. Remember, this is a speed draw and the lines will flicker. The drawing program I use, Clip Studio for those interested, not a sponsor, just a fact, records the time lapse for me. But because it only records when actual changes are being made to the canvas, it does not capture the amount of time spent staring at the screen. Usually that's fine, it saves me some editing, but it doesn't really do this drawing justice, because the process of making this character, for me, was defined by the amount of time I spent staring at it, desperately trying to make a character appear. I couldn't see any sort of hat that made sense with the shape for a long time. I considered discarding this sprinkler head altogether, but that felt like cheating. Yes, I know this challenge to do the pictures in order was set by me, and the rules were made by me, and I'm the only one who even knows what order I took the pictures in. But I would also be the one that would know if I didn't do it quote unquote properly. So, with an exasperated huff and an ugh, I pressed on until finally one of the sketches showed a spark of promise that switched the frustration into idea excitement. And then I immediately struggled with proportions and pose. Even having to copy in a proportion sketch from Bobbin's drawing file, that helped less than I would have liked. Art is not all just bursting creativity and exciting muses. Sometimes you get something done because you have to. Whether that's writing a short story for school, sewing together a tricky pattern in time to give it as a Christmas gift, or drawing an adorable character for your YouTube channel. The path to a finished project is paved with frustration and undo buttons. Once I had the final design nailed down, complete with line art for the main pose, the rest of the process felt refreshingly easy. I used references for the extra poses, and they came together quickly. And even though the color scheme came together with a lot of trial and error, it was still enjoyable. So, what design decisions ended up coming out of all of this? Her clothing is loose, flowing, and comfortable. She breaks the limited color palette rule of the other characters, and this is intentional, making her seem less put together than the others. Her hair covers her eyes, which seems impractical. She waves enthusiastically, skips along, and reclines comfortably while blowing bubbles. Taking all of this together, she seems to be someone playful, whimsical, and comfortable being herself. Therefore, she stands in contrast to Moss, who is low energy and still figuring himself out. For the record, I do really like the final design, but just how enjoying the process doesn't mean you'll like the final product. Liking the final product doesn't mean you enjoyed the process. Whether you liked both, one, or neither, lessons are learned and an attempt was made, which always has value. And now, with the addition of Thimble, our main character group is complete, but who are these people, really? We'll find that out next time. See you there.